me. I believe this, I live this, I bees this, and I require this. You guys know the drill, man. Look in your mirror, look in your phone, however and wherever you may be connected to this broadcast, and repeat this after me. Today is a good damn day to be me. Yeah, you know, every day is a good damn day to be me. I believe this, I live this, I bees this, and I require this. And I guarantee you, continue to make this one of your mantras throughout the day. And each and every day, your life will exponentially get better, regardless of the circumstances or the situations. How is everybody today? I know, Sharon, you can't unmute yourself while you're driving. If you can't, it's all good. I'll wait till you get to the house. David, how are you, man? Good.
I think the answer to that was no, but I can't.
Well, I know you can multitask.
Hey, everybody.
Hey, how was it at the Colorado Springs DMV?
It was cool in and out, just like, well, not really in and out, but it was real efficient.
Okay.
So, yeah, happy about that. Got my temporary license and everything.
Did you take a picture?
I did take a picture.
All right. Now, that's the one we're going to be looking forward to seeing.
Thanks.
All right. All right. David, how you doing, man? You all right, my brother? Just put a thumbs up in the box if you want to, man. And Jolene is with us, but Jolene is handling business. Jolene, how you doing? You got to unmute yourself. Can't hear you.
I went to get my plate. My daughter cooked.
I ain't mad at you. You go right ahead. You go right ahead and enjoy that. And by the time you get done with that, I'll probably be midway through the lesson and you can join us then.
No, I'm gonna put myself on
Mute.
stop video and I'm gonna just listen so y'all don't have to.
Absolutely. We appreciate
like a dog.
We appreciate that. That looked like a pretty good plate you got there though. So
yeah, steak, rice, and vegetables and corn.
Enjoy it. We'll see you when you get back. All right. So I'd like to start off with the latest in my therapy, and then I'll give you guys the latest in my path of healing. As we all know, we had one of those recognized days a couple of days ago here in America. It's called Mother's Day. And yeah, I had a very, very cleansing and a very, very liberating and freeing experience in reference to not only my mother, whose portal I came out of, but also my grandmother and my aunt, because my grandmother, in a sense, took the position of my mother when my mother had her stroke, and my aunt always thought that she was my mother. So I kind of got no mothering from three ladies. So it all got triggered when I was beginning to clean out my closet, and there was a book in the bottom of a box. I hadn't seen this book for years, at least 4, maybe 5 years. And I picked up this book and I looked at it, I was like, And I opened it up, and the obituary from my mother's passing from 2008 was in the book. It brought up a myriad of feelings and emotions in me. old me would have gotten hired in giraffe cooter and probably would have went to Lee's liquor store and got the biggest bottle of scotch that is legally allowed to be sold, and would have did my best to find the bottom of that bottle in the shortest amount of time. That's the old me. However, we're new and improved now. So what I did was I took that energy and I transmuted that energy, and I wrote 3 letters, a little more than 6,600 words, one to my mother, one to my grandmother, and one to my aunt. I'm not going to share the contents of those letters with you all. However, yesterday I had my appointment with my therapist, and my therapist was asking me how I felt in reference to the day before, and how I was processing through, all of the things that I now admit about my mother and my childhood and things like that. And I told him the lead up, just like I did about the letters. And he asked me, he says, would you mind sharing the letters with me? I said, oh yeah, no, not a problem. So I emailed him to him while we were on our call, and he took about 5 minutes and read through the first one. And then he came back on the call and he said, hey man, he said, I take it that each letter is similar, but it's to a specific person. I said, yeah, one is to my mother, one is to my grandmother who raised me, one is to my aunt, who was my mother's guardian. He said, I don't have to read any more of this. He says, brother, and he said it just like this, brother, you don't need me anymore. He said, do you know that, he said, first of all, I've run out of shit to tell you to do. He said, you do shit that is like months and months and months and months away. He said, but how you came into the initial session, and how you've been hot with me, honest, open, and transparent, and vulnerable, and how you haven't, started any of the shenanigans that most folks who come to therapy start. He said, most people come to therapy just so they can talk. They don't come to work through anything. He said, but you're on the right path. He said, whatever you're doing, keep doing that. And when pieces and remnants of this thing pop up, always remember who you are, and remember why you sought the healing. He's like, but yeah, man, he said, ain't nothing else there's nothing else I could even think to even have you do. He thanked me for being honest and doing the work. And he mentioned that he wished he had more clients like me, but then he said, if I did have more clients like you, you probably wouldn't have a job. So I have to thank you guys all that are here with me on this call, especially on the Zoom portion. You guys have been with me even before this, before you even knew about all of this. And you guys have been with me throughout all of this. I am not through with therapy. I want to let you guys know that. However, the therapy that I will be beginning as of today is more about expressive therapy than me talking to somebody and spilling all of this. The cat's out of the bag now. The worst part of it, I took care of that. I told everybody myself, so nobody could come and hold this over my head and come and judge me about this, because I put it out there myself. So the worst part for me was that the being able to peel the layers of the onion back and to heal is vitally important, and I'm going to continue along that path. Yes, Jolene.
I know I'm so happy you said therapy is not over, because now you don't it is therapy, but it's gonna be a lifelong practice of self-acceptance.
Absolutely.
So I would take your both hands and really thank the body for holding all of that in for you, because you're still here, you're still alive. And even though you went through so much, you're still here. I would just take your both hands and go into the mirror naked and just look at yourself and just appreciate your wholeness, because I think that is so important for you to accept your presence of now.
Absolutely.
And
Absolutely.
I think that's a good step to move forward and to where you want, how you want to proceed. So I'm happy that you say you're not done with therapy, but it's still a practice of, as you practice on yourself, of
Absolutely.
self-healing and all that good stuff.
Absolutely. I appreciate that, Jolene. And know this, that every morning I stand in that mirror naked, and I don't move from the mirror until the reflection gives me the thumbs up and a wink saying that it's good to go. So that is mirror work is a vital part of any soul work, any healing work, any ascension work, and any self-awareness work. So I thoroughly recommend each of us seek out the therapy that you need, not what someone else says you need, but what you know and or feel that you need, and go about it your way on your time. As I said, I've been carrying this shit 51 years, man. I was ready to let it go. So I feel lighter. I feel more freer than I have ever. I have more liberty. And I feel open again. For a long time, I was closed. A long time. Now I feel open and ready for business again. So I'd like to thank all y'all for bearing with me during this part of the journey. And again, I encourage each of us to seek out therapy if it is needed, wanted, or desired. There's nothing. The crazy thing would be to need it, want it, or desire it and not seek it out. So any comments about that? Anybody got any comments? All right.
I do want to share one thing. I'm so proud of myself. I went down to where I used to live, where I was molested for a couple of years. And I saw the building, and it's so sad in itself. Have nothing to do with me, and it's sad in itself. And I was able to have so much fun down at the hill at the park, where I spent a lot of time, and I went on a what is that, the swing. And I was just so happy to be in the Bronx Park. And I wasn't even thinking about, because I, really resolved all that years ago.
Right.
But I was able to really enjoy where I used to run and have fun and just be a kid. So I'm just so happy that when you get to that point, you're just going to be able to enjoy what you need to enjoy for that moment, and not give anything, not a minute, not a second to all that hurt and pain in the past. You'll be able to really be present in your own enjoyment.
Absolutely.
And I had so much fun the other day. I'll send you some pictures when I was on the swing.
Please do. Absolutely. So yes, the path forward for me is going to be expressive therapy. And I have just acquired a piece of software that is going to allow me to make my own animated short films. And through the gift of animation and my own creativity, I will put out, a 7-minute short as they come out, but I will put out a 7-minute short, and it will be dealing with these issues, those issues that plague each of us from childhood, growing all the way up through our developmental years, and even issues that we deal with because we don't deal with our trauma, issues we deal with once we become adults and mature. So I'm really, really, really excited about the great creative things that are yet to be coming forth from me, and it's all due to you know, the reconnection and the rebalancing and the reharmonization of myself, PB, and La Di Da, my inner child. So I suggest that each of us tap into that inner child, and if there's unresolved hurts and traumas, fix them, man. Fix them. I feel like I'm having fun again. Just being alive. I feel like I'm having fun again instead of just, oh, fuck. Really? So I definitely encourage each of us to seek whatever help it is that we need. David first, and then Victorious.
Yeah, man. No, thanks for sharing. You know, I had an event this weekend, and I don't know if it was you know, triggering a wounded inner child or just triggering in general, but we were going into LA, driving up from San Diego. Mm-hmm. And I joke with my kids. I was like, hey, you know, we got this extra food at Jack in the Box. We're going into LA. We're bound to see some homeless people. Why don't we give away some food? You know, had a good deed in mind, and the opportunity presented itself. So we had, you know, this guy was sleeping, had all this stuff with him. We put the food next to him. And then some guy was like, you know, hey, you know, trash cans over there. What are you doing? And I'm like, dude, you don't even know what's going on, you know, but you got the nerve to interrupt me and disrupt me. And I'm trying to set a good example with my kids. So then, I mean, I busted a U-turn and had to flash on the guy. I was in a rush, so I kept going. Right. But what I really wanted was an apology from that guy. I needed that guy to acknowledge that he was wrong and apologize to me. I probably wouldn't have got that. If I'd have got out the car, it would have escalated. I'd have been on, you know, YouTube somewhere acting a fool. Yep. But looking back, it was very triggering. And I'm like, man, if I could only not give a F about what people think or about me. Or,
absolutely. That, you know, that right there, and thank you for that, David, that right there is the essence of the art of detachment. See, most people think when you are talking about detachment, oh, you just detach from your family or your loved ones. No, the art of detachment means that you literally give zero fucks about what someone else thinks about what it is that you're thinking, saying, or being, or doing. You really, and it takes a minute. It just wasn't something that was natural for me in the sense, when I was a young kid, man, I wanted to be, you know, popular, and I wanted to be, you know, with all of the popular kids, and so I was really concerned with what everybody thought about me and what everybody was saying, and I would get really disturbed when someone would say something to me about me that either was harsh or wasn't true. As I got to about between age 13 and 16, something clicked in me, David, and by the time I was 16, I stopped giving a fuck what anybody thought. I did. Now, when I'm explaining this, I need to give this caveat. It didn't allow me to act like a plum ass fool. Okay? Because being that I don't care what anybody thinks, there are still consequences to my choices, decisions, and well thought out plans. Still consequences. So I'm always thinking about what the consequence is to this action or to these words that I'm saying. Not so much about the effect that it's going to have immediately. I'm thinking about, was going to be the consequence that I have to deal with. So because I thought in that realm, it limited a lot of wild ass foolery crap that I would have been doing. In that though, I still, from, like I said, from the age of 16 up until now, I really give zero fucks what anybody think about what it is that I do. I don't care. I don't care. Because if you are consumed with what the other guy thinks about you, then you'll never get consumed by what you already know about you. Forget what somebody think about you. You have to live already knowing what you know about you. Go ahead, David.
No, I was gonna say, yeah, no, teach me the way, Sensei. I'm trying to get there. I'm far
from
it.
Man. Yeah, man. Yeah. We're gonna get into the when I start touching on the universal and the cosmic laws, the law of detachment and the law of cause and effect, man. Everybody is concerned. The law of attraction. Yeah, you better get the law of detachment, the law of cause and effect down before you worry about abundance and attraction shit. Yeah, because if you don't know how to detach, you're gonna be attracting all kind of shit and repelling it and attracting it and repelling it and attracting it. Yeah. So we'll get into all of this when I start the series on the universal and the cosmic laws. All right, Dave?
Yeah, man, no problem. Thank you.
All right. Victorious, you had something you wanted to add.
I just wanted to say I'm just so happy that you're sharing this and even talking about going to any or seeking any type of therapy, because we in a Black community, that is becoming more common, but for a long time, I remember even growing up as a child, when it was offered to me, it was something that we looked at as a no-no in the Black community because only crazy people got therapy.
Mm-hmm.
I say all that to say, because some people seek other forms of therapy outside of sitting down with an actual therapist. My form of therapy came in a form of seeking spiritual knowledge.
Mm-hmm.
And even to this day, I've been doing something a little different, and I have been seeking counsel outside of myself through another astrologer.
Absolutely.
It's a little unconventional. And the form and how she does it. It's a written report, but I actually like it because I like tangible things that I can go back and read.
Yes.
But something came up in my reading as to what's keeping me moving forward. And it's literally Saturn in my first house in Gemini.
All right.
And it talks a lot about why this fear of speaking up, speaking out, and even putting myself like in any type of public forum.
Right.
And so, I always say like the greatest thing that comes through therapy is healing. And then once we know what the issue is, then we can move forward.
Absolutely.
And so I always knew that Saturn in the first house was like kind of like a thorn in my side, but seeing it from another perspective and from somebody else's point of view helped me to see it in another way. So
absolutely.
Just saying, like, thank you for putting that out there. And hopefully you'll encourage other people to seek some form of therapy or some type of counsel, whether it's spiritual or whatever, but it definitely helps.
And thank you for that, Victorious. Thank you for that. I absolutely agree 88,000% that it does help. And listen, man, this is not the first time I have gone to therapy or a counselor about personal issues. First time it was when I was in 8th grade or 9th grade, 7th or 8th grade. And I was working at the high school that was across town from where I lived. And we had early morning shift and I rode my bike. And this particular morning, every day I would stop across the street from the school and smoke a joint before I went to work. In case anybody didn't already know this, since 8th grade, I've been smoking weed pretty much every day. And yeah, I don't care what nobody thinks or says. But this particular morning, I was standing under the bus stop and I was smoking this joint. And I didn't pay attention to what was going on. Well, the police were raiding an apartment that morning that was right outside of that bus stop. And I'm just standing there, la, la, la. And they just walked right around the corner and they gaffled me up. I had to go downtown. And it was so funny, man. The first thing they asked me was, do you want to make a phone call? I said, for what? They ain't gonna come down here and get me. Well, your parents are gonna have to come get you. I was like, oh, brother. So I didn't even have them call my grandmother, not because I was afraid of her, but we didn't have a car at the time, so she wouldn't have been able to come get me. So I ended up having to call my aunt, that aunt that y'all already know about. And oh, brother, the shenanigans that started because of all of that. We'll make a long story short. Because I was like 12 or 13 or something, they sent me to a counselor as part of the probation. They gave me probation. They didn't give me no record or anything. Gave me probation and sent me to a counselor. And the very first appointment, counselor asked me, why did I smoke marijuana? I said, because I liked the effect. And she asked me, well, you're going to have to stop. And I asked her why. And she couldn't give me an answer. She started buffering, that human buffering where they get that look like, yeah, she started doing that. And when I was in the military, dealt with a therapist about anger issues. I don't know about anybody that's here now, but I was in the United States Navy, one of the more racially charged branches of the service when I was there in the middle 80s. And I got into several altercations because of some racial insensitivity. And they, because of one, actually had to go see a therapist. And it was funny because they're asking me, who are you mad at? And I said, every MFer that looked like you, because it was an opaque dude. And he had this look on his face like, he's doing me a favor and all that. And yeah, so that attempt at counseling did not go well at all. A couple of relationships I've been in order to we say we're going to counseling to save the marriage or save the relationship. Yeah, it ain't about to save the relationship. It's to do it so you'll shut the other one up for a minute. So it's been twice I've been to counseling, and at the time that I went to both of those counseling sessions, I wasn't ready to be hot with anybody, honest, open, and transparent and vulnerable. And both of those sessions turned into, you did this, you did. And yeah, we was fighting worse in the counseling session than we were at home or when we got together. And then most recently, 2013, there is a medical facility in South Central Los Angeles, Augustus Hawkins, right on the backside of Martin Luther King Hospital. And when my mastered self came in to me September 22nd, 2012, it caused a chain reaction of events. I got massive downloads. I started hearing shit and seeing shit. And literally, I thought I was losing my marbles. So I went and self-checked myself in to Augustus Hawkins in South Central LA. I was there for 3 days, and dude that I was talking to, I gave him a full reading, a numerology reading, astrology cards, and I freaked his ass out so bad that he was like, yeah, man, you're going to have to go. You ain't crazy, man. You crazy like a fox. Get out of here. So yeah, this is not my first rodeo. This is the first attempt at therapy where I was serious and I was going to be hot and I was tired of carrying that burden. So, yes, I want to encourage and spark all that needed, desired, and wanted to get some therapy. Don't go until you're ready. Don't be bullshitting. Don't be, just having appointments just to be having appointments just so you could tell somebody you in therapy. Don't go until you're ready. Yes, Sharon.
How did you know you were ready? Like, I hear you saying like you were just tired of carrying it around, but what was your catalyst? What was like the final straw?
The final straw, literally the final straw for me was my physical reaction after my procedures that I had done 2 days before my birthday. And I knew what the real essence of the issue was. The essence of the issue wasn't the 12 polyps and the 4 other pieces of flesh that they took out of my body. The essence of that was you are still allowing this unresolved trauma from childhood to be a part of all of this that you just had taken out of you. I truly believe that my unresolved childhood trauma regarding this area and the area of my anger was a direct participant in every time I had a pileup, every time I had a stomach episode, every time I had a diarrhea episode, every time I needed to be off work 6 weeks just to clear myself through this whole cycle. I truly, truly believe that. So I hadn't had an episode like the one that I just had in February in 6 years. I don't want to go back to that. I didn't want to go back to that. So I went in meditation. I went in creative visualization and I asked my guys, show me what this is all about. And they showed me my colon and all that issue. So yeah, I was, again, your guys talk to you how you talk. So my guys was like, what you want to do, dog? You want to keep going through this shit or are you ready to get rid of it? Because if you're ready to get rid of it, the door's open. So I've said all that to say when you get tired of stuffing it down, when you get tired of smelling how rotten it is, because every time you stuff it down, it just gets more rotten. Whatever the issue is, whatever the trauma is, whatever the pain is, whenever it comes up, if you just stuff it back down, it just get more rotten. When the person gets tired of smelling that rot, you'll let it go. Yes, Jolene. Unmute yourself, love.
Oh, sorry. Whatever that's external, that's not part of the body itself do not know how to resolve anything external. The body is so much busy keeping our hearts going, our lungs going, our organs going. It's not made to resolve anything that's external. Because if it holds it, it's going to turn into something that it has to distinguish as a threat.
Absolutely.
And that's what's happened. It went as a threat, so it's sickness, and the body, destroys it. But in the meantime, it's destroying our body functions. And
Absolutely.
So that's why we have the conscious, we have the unconscious, we have the awareness, we have the intuition, we have all that stuff, so we could use our mind to resolve.
Absolutely.
Right. And so we could cognitively think about what's going on and how to give us permission to let it go. But the body itself, it's not made to resolve anything that's external. That's our job to do.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Thank you for that, Jolene. And Sharon, I want to add that I truly desire a real connection with source creator, which is that pure, unadulterated, agape love. I have been disconnected from the pure sense of that since I was a little kid, since the womb. I've been disconnected, yet I have been following that light that shines all my life. In order to get that pure, unadulterated connection, I had to let that childhood stuff, I had to let it bubble up and process. I had to smell the funk one more time. And then I just got so tired of that funk. I just was like, okay, let's process this out. Because I truly didn't want to be reserved anymore. I didn't want to be cold. I didn't want to be hard. I didn't want to be distant, especially to folks that I love and I care about. I got tired of being purposefully standoffish from people I love because of it. I want that love. I want that adoration. I want that attention. I want affection. You know how much affection I really want? I didn't get any. I was 11 weeks in an incubator. Nobody touched me for 3 months. And then I grew up in a family who wasn't lovey-dovey like that. Wasn't no hugs, wasn't no kisses, wasn't none of that. Wasn't no I love yous, none of that. So yeah, everything has been warped. My idea of love and romance and unconditional love has been warped since my picture of it was warped. It was painted on a warped canvas. So all I did was I got tired of looking at that warped canvas, and now I'm looking at a clean slate. Now my natural romance and love and affection and attention, now it could go ahead and fully blossom and show me what it is naturally for me. I never knew. I don't know what my love language is. I was forced into acts of service as a love language. So couldn't tell my mother and grandmother, hey, I love you. They don't want to hear that. They didn't want to hear that. But if I cut that grass in 105-degree heat, yeah, that should let them know I love you. Yeah, I walked to the store for you in the rain. Cousins passed me in a car going back towards the house and just let me walk in the rain. Ended up at the house when I got there. I didn't know you was coming here. Well, where the hell did you think I was going? It's raining. I got bags in my hand.
That's so messed up.
I'm serious.
I know you're serious. That's so messed up.
So
I'm reading that book now, The 5 Languages. It's nice. I have like 2 of them.
All right.
It's nice. I think everybody should read.
Well, I'm looking forward to discovering which ones I naturally have, because for 51 years they were just blunted and stunted and suppressed and oppressed. So yeah, I wanted to get the full picture of me. Tired of looking through those cold and distant and reserved and standoffish private glasses. I like these. These are much better. I can see better with these free and liberty glasses. So yeah. And again, when you get tired of smelling that rot, you'll go. That's when the person, when no matter what the situation, there is always a event, trigger, or something that lets you know enough is enough now. Damn. There's always that. Now, being brave enough to act upon that, that's the difference between life and death in a lot of the situations that we deal with. Someone not having the courage to leave a tremendously abusive relationship, when they get that enough is enough, the next time you might not make it out. This hasn't been easy. I probably make this shit look really easy. It hasn't been easy. And healing take a lot of courage, man, because to heal, you got to look at things and look at your own ass. And then you have to look at your part in them. Every relationship that broke up, I played a part in it. It wasn't just the other person. I played a part in it too. It take two people to hook up and it take two people to break up. You gotta be willing to own your own shit, look at your own shit honestly, not biasedly or slantedly. You gotta be able to tell yourself the truth, even when it makes your own self mad. That's the biggest thing right there. Speaking the truth to yourself, even when that makes you mad. That's the number one key right there. Number one, when you can speak the truth to yourself, even when it make you mad, not in that joking way, oh yeah, you dumbass, ha ha ha. No, when you can really look at yourself after a really bad choice or bad decision, and you can really look at yourself and say, hey, what's up, dog? What's up? That's when you're ready. That's when you're ready. David, open up your mic and share that with us, man. You don't have to type that in. Open it up, brother. Talk to us.
Oh, my bad. No, I was just going to say, when you said that, it made me think about like this current stage I'm in where, I think worried about what people think, I would be like sensitive, walking on eggshells and all that stuff. But now, responding instead of reacting, kind of lets me take feedback instead of criticism,
Absolutely.
and having the and I'm still struggling with this, but the power to just ignore somebody's opinion instead of like caring or wanting to change it or all that stuff. But being sensitive to now what I'm trying to call feedback instead of criticism. Like, Absolutely. Who cares what they think? Maybe I could do better. It's like a coach. But everybody don't have that, I guess there's different coaching styles,
Absolutely. There is. And the team that you're supposed to coach, they're waiting on you. Because the team that you're supposed to coach will respond to your style. They will, brother.
Man. That's dope. I like that. Thank you.
Yes. They will. Yes, Victorious, go ahead.
One of the things that I'm learning, I read a book a long time ago, and it was called The Impersonal Self. And one of the things that I'm learning just in general in life, and even through the card system, listening to someone else I'm learning some information about, but how we react and how we respond to people or how we show up in people's lives, I should say how people respond to us. None of it is personal.
Right.
It's our reaction and our response to the whole situation. I mean, it's hard to deal with that in the moment. But once we learn that, like when we meet people all the time. Some people we are just absolutely fond of when we first meet them. There are some people that we meet and we just absolutely don't know why we don't like these people.
Absolutely.
But regardless of the situation, and our response to it or how we feel about something, none of it's personal.
None of it.
None of it is personal.
And you have to learn how to not take everything that you hear, even about yourself, personal.
You hit that one key word, detachment.
Yes. I'll give you guys a perfect example. On Facebook, I am part of this political discussion group, and my political views are polar opposite than the majority of the folks that are in this discussion group. And, I don't get into a lot of conversations with them. I get in on specific conversations, and I get in on the conversation for specific reasons. I have been called a white supremacist. I have been called a extremist. I have been called right-wing hate group. I've been called all manner of things. I've been called all kind of curse words and had all kind of things said to me just because I don't match emotional rhetoric with emotional rhetoric. I come with facts and I poke a hole in your emotional rhetoric. And I tell them all the time, I said, whenever you guys start insulting me, I said, I got a counter over here next to my desk and I write another check mark in my victory column. You guys just let me know that I win. I said, you guys take all of this personal. I said, I don't take none of this personal. I'm having fun with you guys. I said, I'm a writer, man. Writers love to write. You guys are giving me a nice exercise every day. I said, the fact that you guys get so emotionally bent out of shape because I have a divergent opinion. I have a divergent opinion from you. That's all. Used to be that would be okay. We would discuss it, sit down, discuss it. You get hot-headed, I get hot. But at the end, we shake hands and move along. And we can still be associates. Nowadays, not so much. Yes, Jolene, go ahead.
What happened to the days of a debate, of a nice debate? What happened? You know, I think it turned into be someone wants the first say and the last say.
And the only say, not the first.
And the only say without resolve.
Yes, without debate. They don't want you challenging anything that they say. If you challenge it, or if you bring facts that dispute their claim, they'll call it disinformation, misinformation, or fake news. I think it is hilarious. I think it's just hilarious.
Just the curriculum changed so much. It doesn't even have room. It doesn't teach room on how to have conversations of learning and sharing, like research. You know, you find information, you come back and you share, and you do debate, and you ask questions, you don't go back and forth. None of that. Everybody is I don't want to say everybody. It's like, it's the easier way to say it is people want the first, what they want to say, and the last.
Right.
But there's no resolve. That's the best way.
No resolve. I can I would love to go attend some of these college debates. Even if does anybody know, do they still even have them? Do they even have debate societies? I would love to be able to attend some of them and just listen to the newness of the dynamics. Because debate used to be draw a line down the middle. We got 6 people on this side. We got 6 people on this side. We don't agree. However, the intent is for each of us to persuade the other to come on our side. Yes, Victorious, go ahead.
I just want to say this, is that the last presidential election that we had, I looked at the way that those debates went, and it just, to me, it looked like a high school debate. Nothing got resolved. I was just like, is this how we doing things now? Yeah. So I'm looking forward to the next presidential election that we have coming up. And I want people to just really pay attention to how that went. And it's not civil anymore. I don't know what happened along the lines, but it's not even a debate. It's almost, it looks like an argument.
I'll tell you what happened.
Respect. That's why.
I'll tell you what happened. Donald John Trump interrupted their plan in 2016. That's what happened. That's why there's going to be no more debate. Everything that we've been going through since the new administration, this was all planned for 2016 for Hill Dog. Hill Dog was supposed to institute all of this. Donald messed up their Apple Card. So they have to do everything in their power to pay him back, to discredit him, to do anything they can to make it look like he's just the worst thing ever to even sit in that office, when historians and history will be a lot more kinder to former President Trump than anybody on either side is at this time. Thank you for that, Justel. Thank you for that. Anybody else? Shanice, I'm glad you're here. Can you unmute yourself, or you do not have a mic again?
I have a mic this time. Can you hear me?
Oh, yes. Well, come on and chime in now. I know you got something to add to this.
Well, I'm just loving every bit of this. You know, every time when I'm able to get in. And the funny thing is, I had set my alarm for 4 o'clock, but then I had to go outside and work on some stuff in the car.
Okay.
And I left my phone in here, so it was alarming, and I didn't even hear it. But everything that you all have shared today is really beautiful to me. It of course opens me up to think more about the things that I'm working to accomplish. And you know, I as far as the political stuff though, I feel like all of them are the same.
They are.
I think they just give us something to talk about. Whatever someone is resonating toward, they'll give them a little bit for them on either side. But as far as the political situation for this country, a presidential in the presidential realm anyway, I think that they all kind of work together. They're all friends. It's a stage.
Well,
really blurred.
Hold your thought. Let me tell everybody two things that some folks may know this, some folks may not. Every president that we have had in America except one have been related.
Yes, they are.
Joe Biden and Donald Trump are cousins.
That part.
Barack Obama, Joe Biden, and Donald Trump are cousins.
Yes.
George W. Bush, Barack Obama, Donald Trump, and Joe Biden are cousins.
Yes.
Bill Clinton, shall I keep going?
Yes,
I mean, they have they have something for us to pay attention to while they do other stuff.
Absolutely. And for me, and hold your thought, Victorious, I always say this, that it doesn't matter if you're Republican or Democrat, you are two diseased wings of the same sick-ass bird.
Exactly.
You're just one wing and the other one's the other wing, but your bird is sick. The whole bird is sick.
I remember when the election first started, I told everybody, I said, this reminds me of that Twix commercial. A lot of people didn't understand what I was saying. You know how the Twix commercial where they talking about the right Twix and the left Twix, one is better than the other. Yeah. That's all this is.
So yeah. Thank you for that. I appreciate it. I talked about this when I gave the year review. I talked about March being the cosmic end of the pandemic, yet the politicians were not going to announce it and they were going to do their shenanigans. And I talked about from May, in May, all the way through August, the political shenanigans would start. And those things are starting now. We just have to be mindful, all of us that are on these calls, we just have to be mindful that now more than ever, it is time to dive into your self-awareness.
Always.
And then once you get aware of self, start actualizing self. Start realizing self. You're still going to be in 3D. However, you will be driving the car instead of in the passenger seat. I feel much more comfortable driving than in the passenger seat. Passenger seat, I'm at the whim of the driver. But if I'm driving, I got control. You know what I'm saying? So I'm, as all of this continues to unfold and play out, and we still got a ways to go. March 7th, 2023, that's when it's going to begin to let up. However, the rest of 2023 is still going to be difficult. We're not seeing a break in any of this until 2025. None of this is lifting. Inflation gonna go out the box. Pricing gonna go out the box. The emotional rhetoric and the divide is gonna get thicker, and none of this is gonna be resolved. None of it. None of it. It'll start to get better 2025. Any comments? Any questions? I think we done took up so much time on this. I think that's class for today because I don't want to rush through the 9 descriptions that I have. I have 5,241 words. I don't think I want to rush through that. I will go through because I could go through the essence of 10 through 18 so that those that have those essences now, you can get the soul of what's really going on with you. I know for a fact I have someone currently with an 18-9 essence, so I'm definitely going to cover that. But what I'm saying is, I believe that the flow of what we are discussing is much more important than me breaking off and getting into a class for 10 or 15 minutes. At this point, how do you guys feel about that?
I'm rolling with you.
All right.
I'm gonna go check on my daughter, but
absolutely.
I will see y'all on Thursday, and have a blessed evening, and thank you for everything.
Joanne, you look beautiful. I love the hair.
That hair is banging, honey. I'm like, bam.
Thank you. You can only get it here. I can't get my hair done like this in New Mexico. This is Dominicans. They do that. And so I can do that, but it will take me forever. I don't have the patience. So this is just New York.
Well, we're gonna
get it one more time so my boyfriend can enjoy it. But
we're gonna work on manifesting you a Dominican hairstylist in New Mexico. Then that's what we're gonna do, because we don't do can't and don't and won't over here.
Well, yeah, we'll do it. We'll do it. All right, I'll talk to you Thursday.
All right, thank you.
Okay, all right.
Personally, Mark, I have a question. And I don't want to waste your time on this call, but you're gonna have to, if you don't mind, I would like you to show me how to work through my name essence.
Okay.
Yeah, because I got super lost. Like, I know numerology to a certain degree, but like I got a little lost through that process.
All right. Mocha, do you have a pencil and paper handy?
Yes.
Justil, do you have a pencil and paper handy?
No, but I get one. Hold on.
You get one.
Hold on.
Anybody else that wants to work through your name essence, I will give us a live demonstration right now. So give me 2 seconds. I got to go handle this bladder the size of a peanut, and I'll be right back.
Oh, I'm excited. Let me get my phone. I don't know everything. I know a lot, but I don't know everything. Sometimes I need some help too. Alrighty.
Are we ready?
Yep.
All right.
Yes.
Okay. First off, you want to give yourself all the room on the paper. So at the top, like where on the 7's is in my banner, write your given names at birth as they were recorded on your birth certificate. So your first, middle, and the maiden last names. And let me know when you guys get those done.
I got it.
Okay. Now, wherever there is an A, a J, or an S in your given names at birth, if you have enough room on top, write that number, number one on top of every A, J, and S in your name. If there are any B's, K's, and T's, write the number 2 above them. If there are any C's, L's, or U's, write the number 3 above them. If there are any D's, M's, or V's, write the number 4 above them. If there are any E's, N's, or W's, write the number 5 above that. Any F's, O's, or X's, write the number 6 above them. Any G's, P's, or Y's, write the number 7 above them. Any H's, Q's, or Z's, write the number 8 above them. And then any I's or R's, write the number 9 above them. Now to get through your name, I want you to add the numbers up for each name and put those underneath your name, like where with Pyphorus be Metatron, Awaken, Ascend, Expand is, put the, like for Justel, put the 23 underneath Justel. You got the 1s and all that on top, put the 23 underneath. For your middle name, put the whatever the full number is, put that underneath. And your last name, put that full number underneath, because that's important. So let me know when you get those done.
Got it.
Okay, so for you, Justel, it takes, you got 23, 31, and 18, correct?
Yep.
Okay, it takes you 23 years to live through Justel once. It takes you 31 years to live through Catrice once. It takes 18 years to live through Cain once. So okay, draw a line under where the 23, the 31, and the 18 is. Draw a line across your page. And then you're going to have 3 boxes, 1, 2, 3. And you're going to put the J of Justel in one box, put the K of Catrice in one box, and the C of Cain in one box.
Okay. So all on the same line?
No, one on top of the other. You know, like you got
so
3
like
boxes.
in a row.
Yeah, in a row.
Okay. So JKC. Okay.
Okay. Now, and then put an equal sign after in between them.
Okay.
And then J equals 1, right?
Yes.
K is 2.
Wait a minute. Equals 1. K is 2, correct?
And C is 3. 1, 2, 3.
Wow.
So
Ain't that special?
So you're gonna be, so your essence is 7. It's 6. 1 plus 2 plus 3. The current state of affairs, right there. That was how you started off at birth. So
Man, I can't get rid of them 6s. Huh?
so after 1 year, you go into the U of Justel for 3 years.
So then my next line would be the U.
You have to wait until your next essence on your table would be UKC, because that would happen 1 year later.
Okay. So I complete my first essence at 6 years old.
No. You completed
one cycle?
A cycle at 31. A full name cycle at 31, because you have to go with you don't complete it until you get through all of your names at least one time.
Okay, got it.
So you'll go through Justel, and when you turn 24, you'll be back in the J of Justel.
Got it.
When you turn 32, you're back in the K of Catrice. When you turn 19, you went back into the C of Cain, and you lived through that again.
Okay.
So right now you would take your age. So you've been through you've been through Justel twice.
Right.
And now
I'm on my third run.
You should be in the T of, right? Are you in the T of Justel until like 51?
Oh, you asking me?
Let me see.
I told you I was a little lost in the sauce.
I tell you. No, you're in the S of Justel until 51.
And then I move into the T.
Yeah, and then you're in the I of Catrice until 54, and the N in Cain until 54. So yeah, you're gonna have a new essence next year, and then you'll have a new essence in 2 years. Yeah.
And you said I'm in the S until
51. Mm-hmm. Okay. Yeah, you just come out of the U, a 3-year period in the U.
I'm gonna have to really study this because I'm a little lost with this.
Mm-hmm.
And this is one portion of numerology I'm completely oblivious to. So I'm gonna have to study this.
All right. I can break it down a little finer in a lesson. I can give a lesson about your cycles of becoming.
Okay.
Yeah. And that starts at birth all the way. You can run that all the way through until you get tired of figuring it. Yeah.
See, this is the kind of stuff we should have been learning in school. Like, absolutely. I probably would have been paying attention.
Absolutely. Mocha, you all right over there?
Yeah, I'm ready. I was just waiting my turn.
Okay.
Miss Mocha.
So
hi.
So how much does Shanice add up to?
Shanice adds up to 32.
So put 32 underneath Shanice.
Right.
And then your middle name, what does it add up to?
30.
Put 30 under there. And then Scott, what does that add up to?
14.
Put 14 under there. So then you go draw a line under both of those, under all 3 of those. And then you put the S in Shanice and put equals 1.
Okay.
and then put the S in your middle name, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, equals 1. And then S in Scott equals 1. So you had a 3. You had, okay, so you know your age. So how many times have you lived through Shanice?
Well, I'm 54.
Okay, so you have lived through Shanice once, and then you are 54, 55, 63. Yeah, 55. Oh, wait, 54. Okay, so 32, 33, 41, 51. You should be in the end of Shanice the second time. Yeah, you're the second time in the end of Shanice. What's your middle name?
Shaneen.
Sheneeen, right?
No, Shenean.
Okay, so that's 30. So 30, Shen, 31, 39.
I don't know what them numbers.
40, En, 49, 50, Ean. So you're in the E of Shaneen. So put the E equals 5.
Mm-hmm.
What were you in? What did I tell you were in Shanice?
I think you said the E, but I'm not
E of
sure.
Shanice, yeah, E of Shanice. Put E equals 5, and then 14, 28, 52, 53. You're in the C of Scott.
Okay.
Put Scott, C equals 3.
Mm-hmm.
And so you'll be so 5, 5, and 3. You have a 13-4
Yes.
essence. Yeah.
Yes, that's my that's my
Yeah, you have a 13-4 essence. So, and then I'm gonna have to give you guys a full lesson on how you advance through your name.
Yeah, because I'm so lost right now. I don't know.
Yeah. I have to I have to give you guys a full lesson on that. So we can I can do that. I can save the lesson for today for Thursday, and then I could do before I get into all of this, I could do that lesson to can really just open all of this up for you guys and make it really, really simple.
That would be awesome.
Yeah, I could do that.
So you'll have time tomorrow to do that, or later tonight?
The next show.
No, Thursday's show.
Through Thursday you go. Oh, okay. I thought it was gonna get me a private individual lesson.
Well, you know, Moki, you could always get that. When you gonna be at the studio again?
You just let me know, and I'll go with Miko, and
okay.
I'll go down there with him and just wait for you and let you like show me, you know.
Okay, yeah, we could do that. It won't be tomorrow. I gotta take my car to get some maintenance on it. So more than likely Friday be the next day I'll be available to get down to the studio. But I'll confirm with you tomorrow and let you know.
Okay. Well, and I'll just go down there with him on that day.
Okay. Sharon, you okay?
Mark.
Oh, thank you. Sharon, you okay?
Good.
Good. You want to hear about the essence of 18 now, or you want to wait till the next show?
Wait till the next show.
Okay. All right. Anybody got anything else they'd like to add before we shut it down tonight?
No, I just want to say how great these shows are.
Well, thank you. You guys make them great. You guys, without y'all, I'd just be here talking to myself. So I appreciate the give and take. I appreciate the participation. It wouldn't be a show without participation. If not, it'd just be me talking. And yeah, although I would enjoy that, I don't think nobody else would. So I'm thankful and grateful, man, that you guys show up and you guys bring the life to the show, and I appreciate that. So Keep it up, man. Keep it up, and I'm getting closer, real close to just making an official announcement about my show. Now what? Because I can't shut up about some things no more. And
I'm looking forward to it because I got a lot to say.
Yeah, and
I died. Now that's something
you come to life on that one, huh?
Yeah. Because it's like people out here that shouldn't be talking, just running off the mouth. And then it's like you got Mark here that's so smart and he knows so much about so many different things, and he just quiet. And I'm like, will you please get out here in these streets and tell these folks something?
Yes, absolutely. So
yes, I'm waiting on that. Yeah.
Yeah, we are very close to an official announcement about that. And I am excited about that. As much as I'm excited about all of this that we do, I'm equally excited about that, because folks got to know, man. We have to know that they're and this may upset a lot of folk in our community, but there is another point of view than the one that y'all believe. There is another point of view. I say that there are two sides to every truth. There's at least 144 sides to every truth.
Amen
to the 144.
Yep, it's 144 sides to every truth. So, what I'm saying about the truth is true, but somebody else could say and have a different perspective, and it could be true, and it don't make what I'm saying not true, and it don't make what they're saying not true. But people get so caught up in what they've been indoctrinated with.
That part.
And it's almost as like they're afraid for you to bust their bubble, because then, a lot of people have built their lives on a bunch of lies and horse hockey.
Mm-hmm.
Even more so now with social media. But
you got folks over living here, born and raised here, who think that their ancestor was a frequent traveler on a boat.
Speak.
You got people who ain't got no connection to the motherland is here where you are.
That part.
And you got people that believe that they got 10 million out of Africa on a boat. The numbers don't add up. I done told you guys this before. It's only 4 months you can make that trip anyway. Back then, they would still be going back and forth. Bringing folks over.
I'm sorry, I'm over here clapping.
So, yeah, now what is going to be coming? Yeah. I'm still working out the parameters. Now what will be strictly broadcast through Zoom and YouTube. We will not be dealing with any other platforms that are too sensitive for the subjects that we will be covering. So we will be going straight from Zoom to YouTube. That's the platform, or the radio station, because I am meaning to stir up the pot. I'm meaning to have folks, threatening my life because of some of the stuff I'm saying.
Well, we don't want that to happen.
Oh no, I ain't worried about nobody threatening me on the internet. They ain't gonna do nothing. Shit.
We don't want that to happen.
You know you want it. They talking about they're gonna kill you.
But y'all know, you know what I mean. If I think they insulted me now and talking under their breath, they really gonna get really perturbed with me when I start poking holes with facts, not rhetoric and not emotion, with facts to their narratives. Yeah, they're gonna be upset. So it's all good. I'm looking forward to that. So anybody else got anything before we shut it down today?
I got one more comment. And this is based on you sharing your truth about everything that you went through your childhood. I came across a post from somebody that I know personally, a distant family member, And she made a comment one time about, and it's not verbatim, but she basically made a comment about how she was tired of over 40-year-old people complaining about how their lives are so fucked up today based on shit that happened in their childhood.
Wow.
I just want your thoughts on that, because when I read that, I was completely disturbed, and I was like, this is why people need to pay attention to what they say out loud.
Absolutely.
Because everything that we experience up to this moment, the first 7 years of your life are the most important. I mean, granted, every year of your life is important.
Yes.
But a lot of what we deal with to this day and our adulthood all stems from our childhood. Yep. So I wanted to say how grateful I am that you are using your platform to talk about what happened and how it disturbed your entire life, and that now you're truly healing from that. But that comment, when she made it, I'm not a therapist.
Right.
I'm an astrologer. I have a degree in psychology, but I was smart enough to know, like, look, sometimes people need to keep shit to themselves.
Man.
And I was completely disturbed by that.
And if you peel back your own
and her life ain't no cakewalk.
Look, peel back. That's what I was getting ready to say. Peel back your own feelings about it and detach from who wrote it, and know that you'll see that that's just a bunch of unresolved childhood trauma responding.
That part.
That's all that is. Because only what's that saying I seen on the book? Hurt dogs howl. Only nobody asked this person for their opinion about people who are talking about their childhood trauma. Nobody asked her. She just volunteered and posted that up. That's
I'm sure
trigger.
It came from somewhere, but then the fact that she posted that on her platform, and people responded with hearts and all kind of stuff. I was like, really?
Well, I look at it like this, and for me, I allow everyone to have their own opinion. Something like that, I just would have scrolled on past it.
I didn't say anything. I just was like, you shouldn't be, I feel like that dude Ruckus. Let me not say that. I was gonna say something really foul. Right. I'm gonna leave it alone.
No,
I'll say that for your other platform.
Yeah. I just look at when folks like that, when things pop up like that, I really look at it as is the thing that they are railing against so much is the thing that they're needing healing from. She probably needs healing from some trauma that happened to her as a little girl, and she just don't want to face it. And she thinks she handled it the best way she could, but you can look at her entirety of her life and tell her that she hadn't handled it that well.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Thank you for that. All right. If there's nothing else, this has been On the 7's with Pythias B. Metatron, where we come to awaken, ascend, and expand. We do go through the 88 steps into your mastered self. And I guarantee you, if you keep On the 7's with Pythias B. Metatron as a part of your soul's journey, somewhere along the way, your mastered self awaits you. Please allow me to help you unlock the cosmic code in your name so that you can start happening to life instead of allowing life to happen to you. And as always, whenever I say goodbye, it never is in reference to forever. It is always about right now. So with that, I say, ciao, I love you. Goodbye for now.
Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, all.